This is Rod Kusin Spooman for RSKon, February the 20th, 2019, all times on the Charter Central Standard Time. As we approached the day, we've been looking at the upper value area at 2794.50. And that seems to be a pretty prominent target for the next couple of days. And we're anticipating that these levels are going to get hit. Once that's breached 2807 and a bit higher than that, and then I think we're going to start seeing some significant pullbacks. But in any case, we have that to work with, and we also, on our retracements, in looking at the retracement from this low at 27.29 up to the 27.8750 high, we've got a 27.73 23.6 retracement level that's been staring at us pretty much all day long. And we saw a pretty good pullback to that level after the announcement, after the minutes were read today. And in any case, what we want to do is take a look at the threshold indicator, because the premium was really useful today as it comes down to reading how the market was going to behave. Now, here we have the open. We have our threshold indicator here. We have our, these moving averages are sitting on the premium, all right? Sitting on the premium. So as we got our initial pullback this morning, right into here, you could see as you look at the moving averages, we were already moving up on the premium. So you're looking to go long in here. We'll come back and talk about some of the automated trades that we got, and I'll put a line in here just as a point of reference. And then as the market moved up to its initial high, notice how the premium begins to fail. We come up to this new high on the premium, and now we're at a new high on the ES, but we're at a lower high on the premium here compared to here. So that would somewhat indicate a bit of a pullback, not a huge one necessarily. But as the market did pull back, we got a big spike down on the premium right there. Now that would indicate that since these lows, lower low, lower low, lower low, that this low on the ES would have to be tested, which it was over here. But all the same, when we came to this low, if we look at the average, we're way down here. That's a lower low on the average side. So that kind of suggests that we may still go lower. And in fact, we do until we hit this level. We test that price here, and notice where the premium is at that point. Okay, so now we've got a higher low on the premium. Now, from the standpoint of this low here, we were at negative 42, negative 13 here, a little bit lower than these thresholds in here, but not a particularly major concern. So we had that divergence right there. But now what happens next is the thing that was really predictive. As we just pulled back a little bit into the 81.25, 81.50 level right in here, look at where the premium had gone. It had moved considerably lower, such that the averages on the premium in this case were quite low. Now, yes, we're not as low as we were here, but look at the averages. So that was something that a bit of discernment would suggest these prices are probably going to get tested. And sure enough, later on over here, they were. Okay, so this is right there at 81.50. And so that, if you look at the premium here now, okay, right in there, compared to the premium right in here, see where the premium is here compared to here. All right, so now good time to get long again, because keeping in mind, we're expecting that this market is going to rally up and move into the 2790 area. Now, another good indication that this was going to happen was this big new high on the premium here, which isn't really a naked bar. Well, that's a naked bar, yes. But then we get divergent here. But a pretty good indication we're gonna be running back that way. All the same, premium now we need to look at this area right in here to see divergence and hopefully a rally up from there. Well, as we go forward, we get just exactly what we expect. And we get a new high on the premium here, a lower high here. Okay, that's not unusual, really. That's not unusual. Not enough to be terribly a big concern for a pullback, but as we go and we tag that high again here, now we have a different story. Okay, so let's look at any automated trades that we had right up there. Because if you notice how the premium has been behaving, this average, lower high in here, yes, but really a lower high still over here. And then the premium begins to turn completely, and we take it down to a big pullback. Now, was there anything on the way up that suggested we may be having a problem? This was tough to say. This low was associated with a negative 18 pullback here. And if you look at these lows here, here, and here, that's a lower low. So does it mean that we're going to pull back all this way? Not really. But all the same, it's sticking out there like a sore thumb. And it's suggestive that we may want to be cautious as we moved up to this new high. And with a premium turning using a lower high, yeah, in fact, that's exactly what it did. Boom. Okay, and it didn't quit, because as it moved down, we got a new low on the premium here, higher low here, but we're on the average, we're much lower. So this is still going to go down. We've got to be at a lower low on the ES and a higher low on the premium before we're really in a position where we can expect this market's going to pull back, or pardon me, rally up. So there's the raw data on the premium. Yeah, you got a little divergence here, but you're way down here. Doesn't make sense. So that price has got to get tested. And as it is, okay, when we get right back down here, watch the premium again. All right. So we're right in here, and we're beginning to get higher lows on the premium. We get that initial turn right in here. And looking at the premium, yes, you are divergent in here, but the actual low comes right there. All right. So we have to kind of look at, see what the strategy was doing as we moved past this timeline. And then we'll look at it over here in a minute. But now if you look at this low, and you look at that low, and you look at the premium, okay, Here was the low here, and here's the low there. Okay, definitely have a higher low situation here. So hopefully, we're going to get a signal in there. This was a bit of a head fake, but you could also see that something wasn't quite right when you hit this high and the premium all of a sudden turned. And now the premium came down and began to go even lower here. Just look at these lows, low, 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 lower, and even lower still. So all that's indicating, yeah, this is coming down. So whatever you were hoping to achieve by getting long in here isn't going to work. Now let's go forward. We're getting close to the announcement. And we've got a nice move up right before the announcement. And then, of course, everything goes crazy. So this new high on the premium here corresponds with a high on the ES at 27.90.75, and a good barometer of what's yet to come. By the way, we should mention that even though this was the low of the morning, typically Wednesdays, Fed days, and even Fed announcement days, and even the reading of the minutes are generally speaking long. Historically, they are long. So wanting to go long, into the announcement made good sense. So now that having been said, what about up here at the top? Okay. What happened there on the automated strategy? Not that we would really trade that, because Fed days are when we get an announcement, it gets really crazy, and you can lose your shirt very quickly. But anyway, let's look at the lows again. Now, bear in mind where we were here. Okay, negative 0.09, and at the low here we're at negative 0.037. Not that those two are necessarily comparable, because really at this point what you got to be looking at is what's happening right in here. Because in fact you are lower, and you should be lower on the premium. That wouldn't need to be divergent from that price on the premium. It needs to be divergent in here. And so you get this big low. So now you know this has got to come down, and you come down here to this low, and that's where you want to be long, right in there. Okay. And while the market is just about closed, we have failed to move up to a new high. We're just getting a lot of noise in here, and we haven't moved up, but that's yet to come. But you can see how the premium, these lows, you got this lower high here. All right, so you got a bit of divergence, but quick pullback. Another opportunity to go long in here, and you're not where you ought to be on the premium here, and you get another pullback. And these lows right in here, all right. This low on the premium is somewhat suggestive that those price levels aren't going to be sustained. We're too low on the premium here. We're even lower here, and then we're even lower there. So yeah, only real late in the afternoon does it even make sense to start thinking about a long trade like right in here. But that's getting really late. Okay. So let's look at the longs. The strategy longs. So right in here at around 8:47, 8:46, 8:47, we get our signal right in here. No other signal is propagated at that point. Let's go to the next low. Next low is at about 914, 915. And right at about 915, we get a signal up. Get another one over here. So at 915, 925, that's these. Okay. But now, as we talked about, this low on the premium here, testing these prices in here at 81-ish, comes down to this point at about 910 or so. Pardon me, I misspoke. That's 1025-ish. And there's a 1025, another signal right in there. Nice move up, another one up here. But now what happened right around 1055? Or pardon me, 1053. What happened right in there? Because there was divergence in here. Did the strategy catch it? Numerous strategies picked off a short here, went long here, and then shorted again here. And that was great. That was perfect. So we'll focus right on here at 1107. And did we get any signals? Yeah, we did. This is 1107. All right. But you knew that wasn't probably a good time to go long. And why? Because look at how low the premium was. So that's where the discretion comes in. And you'd want to see that price level tested, which it is over here. So then as we get into new lows in here, and we see the premium starting to go long right in there after 1128, okay, that's right in there. 1128, as you see, the premium is divergent. Do we get any signals at 1128? There we are. You know, we've got them in here, but we knew that's not yet. We're not ready yet. But 1128, yeah, we're ready. So taking a signal there made some sense, but as you could see, we got stopped out on that. So once again, this is that little move up. There is some divergence in here, and the long trades make a little bit, but at the same time, we don't get high enough on the premium there. And when we tag that high over here, you know, we're already on the way down. So that's not making any sense. So letting it cycle down, not here. We've got to be lower than this. All right, because this. Pardon me. Let me rephrase that. That's the divergence. This over here, we need to be lower than that because now we're much lower on the premium than we should be. Okay, you can see that very clearly. We got much lower here, much lower here. We got to breach this low on the ES. We do that over here, and it is here that now we are divergent. Here, here, here. There's the divergence. So the real key is what happens at 1155. And there's 1155, and there's our signal. You ignore this, you ignore that, there's your signal. And up we go. So right before the announcement, we get this nice long, another long in here, bunch of longs in here, bunch of longs in here, long in here, all the way up to the 2790 high pivot. Of course, by then, you got to be careful because of what you saw happen to the premium on the way up, because that's when it got crazy. So now, right as we move up to the high, which kind of surprised me, I didn't expect the strategy was going to do this, but it did. It gave us a short signal right at the high. There it is. And what a short it was. And so as this market plummets down, and keeping in mind, you've got this nice low on the premium way down here. We've got to cycle around to our next low, which is right there. That's the divergence. That's the low. What happened at 1321? So there we are right at 1321-ish. We're getting long signals. Another bunch of long signals in here and here. And of course, now we begin to see the market's kind of floundering to make its way up before the close. But those are signals as the market finishes up for the day. All right. Now, incidentally, part of the reason you see a lot of individual signals here, in order for us to show you the signals being generated by the automated strategy, we have to actually pull the trades after they're taken. After we've got a little profit in it, we just close out those trades so that any other conditions that might generate trades can be shown. Otherwise, you'd only get a few signals because we would be, in fact, holding the trades longer than we would normally hold. Pardon me, we would be holding the trades longer in reality than we would use in the strategy itself. So these little zeros, they're all exits. They're all exits. Okay. All right, so there we have it. That was the activity for the day. Keep in mind that target up there at, let's go back here, 2794.50. Keep that in mind for tomorrow, and we may even see that get hit in the overnight market today's. But it looks like we're going to be long yet this week. And then once we get up into this area, that's when I think we need to really start rethinking the longs. Okay, automated strategy, programmable, open source. We make it available to you so that those of you who have the skills can adjust the strategy according to your liking, and it's good. And I'm Rod Kusin, Spooman for Risk.